Yeah, so I'm a Director of Research at the International Gaming Institute at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. So I'm basically responsible for everything throughout the research pipeline. So everything from, you know, conceptualizing the research, fundraising, grant writing, all the way through to executing the research, collecting data, doing the data analysis, and then also disseminating the findings, whether that's through academic publications or conference presentations, like places like here and other trade shows. I did my bachelor's degree at the University of Surrey, and I actually set up a poker society for the students. So I actually organised a weekly poker tournament where we used to play like multi-table tournaments, and then I got really into online poker. And through playing poker, I obviously really wanted to visit Las Vegas and play in the casino, so I did that a couple of times, and then found out about UNLV, and it was like, yeah, it would be really cool to work in gaming in Las Vegas. So I went to study at UNLV, did my master's there, and yeah, that's how I ended up there. Yeah, so what drove me to academe was I always had a passion. My passion started for it when I did my master's degree, actually, and I was studying at UNLV, and some of the professors I took, like Dr. Bo Bernhard, Dr. Anthony Lucas, they really kind of showed me how data could be used to drive decision making, and I became really interested in how to use data and analytical methods to drive change in the industry. And I did that within the industry. I worked in strategic marketing and digital analytics, but I felt the environment in an industry setting versus an academic setting isn't so conducive to like the research or the scientific process. So I really wanted to go back to academe and engage in more kind of hard, robust science. And that's something I'm really passionate about, and that's kind of why I went back to academia. I actually got kind of hit with this more recently. We were visiting some family in another state in America where iGaming isn't legal. They had some friends over, and we were just conversing, and they were asking what I do, and I was like, oh, I work in gaming, I research gaming. And they kind of saw it as a bit controversial. They were scared about it, they had all these questions. So yeah, definitely think in these places where maybe it's not more common, there needs to be some education about maybe the potential benefits in terms of economic benefits, employment, that kind of thing. Because it is a controversial sector, and without a doubt there's the potential for harm. The gambling can be addictive. So understanding the specifics about the harms and the benefits, I think, is what probably needs to happen. But yeah, it's a tricky one, and I think a lot of people are scared about it who don't know much about it. One of my colleagues, actually, Adam Feldman, he's doing a lot around the language around responsible gambling and safer gambling, sustainable gambling. All these terms are getting thrown out, right? And that's even becoming confusing because there's not a consistent message out there for the consumer. Another thing that I think is important that he's actually talked to me about is the role of parents in this. For example, with alcohol, parents will often talk to their kids about how to drink responsibly, and it's dangerous if you get too involved in it. Are they having those conversations with their kids about gambling as well? Maybe we should start to communicate to parents that this is something they should talk to their kids about, and maybe that's a way as well it can become a more entertaining format of entertainment rather than something that's a problem. In terms of innovative technologies and things, I think there's two things we're working on that are particularly interesting in this area. One of them is agentic AI. I think that's set to be quite a hot trend for AI in general this year, but we're looking at how we can use agentic AI in a kind of chatbot experience to teach consumers about responsible gambling, but also educate them about the basics of gambling and sports betting. The idea being that maybe if they're in this conversational learning environment, they're more likely to retain information. And if they understand the basics and the foundations of gambling, maybe they're less likely to get into problems because they understand what odds are, they understand probability, things like that. So that's one area. Another area we're looking into is open banking technology. We're working with a few companies in the UK, Department of Trust and also Jasper. We're looking at how that data can help support prevention and risk identification in the gambling sector, which I think is really important because a lot of the risk identification space has been constrained by a single view of the customer on one operator. If you're using open banking data, you actually get a much more holistic perspective of customer activity, which I think could be really powerful for risk identification. Yeah, I mean, we were just speaking offline. I think it's hugely important. And I think it's something I'd love to see, our school do more of, educating students about iGaming, because I think it's a good career avenue for a lot of young students and things like that. And yeah, it's a very fast evolving space, right? Particularly with emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and blockchain. I think keeping abreast of those technologies and the use cases that are applied to the gaming sector is going to be massively important. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that one, I think.